Hi, I'm Dianna Campbell, and welcome to my show, Dianna. Okay, okay. I'm not smiling. Okay, I'm too serious. Kind of. Okay. I forgot one. Involved in the community human rights involved advocate. Join me and my exciting guests while we discuss business, education, technology, media, and politics. Get to know me, Dianna, a proud survivor of cancer and founder of BETM Consulting. I'm a passionate and involved human rights and community advocate. Join me on Dianna, and I will see you the next time. Hello, welcome back to Dianna. I have a great guest with me today, Neal, actor, producer, director, family man, and a great banana pudding maker. And jazz, and you're full of a hodgepodge of many things. Thank you for being with me this evening, Rome. How are you?
In the words of Larry Leon Hamlin, the late great Larry Leon Hamlin, I am Marv-tastic.
Okay. What is that, Marv-tastic?
Marv is fantastic.
Marv is
yes.
fantastic. Okay. I haven't seen you in a while, and when the last time I saw you, basically when you were doing the play with the one-man show, starring my former guest, Tommy Moore. And could you tell me about producing that show for him, or you were directing?
Well, I was directing the show. My good friend Crystal Fields of Theater for the New City had made communication with me that she wanted me to direct this show during Black History Month at her theater, and I got to meet Tommy, and we got to talk about the script, and I decided to take it on as a directorial feat that I am still in amazement of the work that we put forward with that production. Tommy has taken it to another level with the work and what's going to happen for it in the future, which is very good. But we continue to move on with what I do in jazz,
Okay.
you know, and I'm a jazz vocalist, I'm a jazz producer, and I have that mean banana pudding that you were talking about comes from a series that I have at the New Eureka Poets Cafe, celebrating 13 years, Rome Neal's Banana Pudding Jazz, and it's a event that I have once a month, the first Saturday of every month, where I bring together fantastic musicians and some dancers and great vocalists, and I serve them this delicious banana pudding, and we listen to some great live jazz.
So how did it get started with the banana pudding? You just somehow everybody was hungry, you just went in the kitchen, made some banana pudding.
No,
How did that?
You know, we started 13 years ago, and you know, I used to always go up to Harlem to this store called Wimp's. It's no longer there, and I used to always, every time I go to Harlem, it was religious to go to Wimp's and have some banana pudding. When Wimp's closed, I decided to make my own banana pudding, and then I was doing banana pudding jazz that night at the New Eureka Poets Cafe, and all of a sudden I decided I wanted to bring something to the table, you know, for the special first night, and I made some banana pudding, and it just took off from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you received an award for this banana pudding jazz.
Yeah, I have a show on Brooklyn Neighborhood Network TV. It's the first every Tuesday at 10:30, and the award that I did receive was the best entertainment show award. It was called the Be Free Award.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm very grateful to receive that award. You know, jazz has brought quite a few great things in my life, and one of them, to receive an award for doing jazz, was quite wonderful. And that particular award, the Be Free Award for best entertainment TV show. Another award I received for the jazz program was a show that I did called You Can't Blame It on Me. It's based on jazz musicians who were in the LGBTQ movement.
Okay.
And that particular show I received the Fresh Fruit Award.
Okay.
But it was a jazz award given for something that I produced surrounding jazz. So I'm very grateful to, you do this work, and every once in a while it's good for someone to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, you're doing a good job.
Well, I'm a jazz lover myself. I grew up with jazz and blues. And what are some of the famous people you played with and been in their space? I know Monk is one of them, the oldest Monk. And
Well,
what are some?
not me. I didn't play with Monk.
Not play, but been around. Your personal friends and associates.
Monk, I was never around the real Monk. I was around his son.
Son,
I seen his son perform.
Right.
But the play Thelonious Monk, I do play the character Thelonious Monk in Lawrence Holder play, and this particular play started some 16 years ago, and Lawrence decided to write this one-man show for me about Monk, and that's what started me into the whole jazz movement of producing and becoming a jazz vocalist and all this other great stuff surrounded around the music.
Okay, that's wonderful. And Mr. Holder, he's great too. And
But some of the people in jazz, as you probably saying, some of the people in jazz that I have become acquainted with is the great legendary Dr. Barry Harris, legendary pianist and educator of the music of the bebop movement. I take classes with him every Tuesday.
Still?
Still. Barry's still around and making it happen. We love him so very dearly. When I did the show Monk about Thelonious Monk, one of the great people who showed up one night was none other than Max Roach when he was alive.
Oh yeah, great.
And Max came up to me and said, at the end of the show, said, "Man, you a Monk up there. I know Monk. I played with him. You were Monk, primo. And it just blew me away." After that, I was Monk, So I mean, I realized that, to touch someone who actually played with the man, And so many other great musicians who've seen it. Dr. Billy Taylor, who came to see it, who saw it one night at St. Peter's Church, a special performance there. He was just blown away by it. And my good friend Randy Weston.
Okay, right.
Randy Weston, he's seen the play at least 3 times.
Okay.
And he just loves it.
So you do a lot with the plays, the off Broadway plays, which they don't get enough notification. I go to a lot of them pretty much every week. What are you doing now? Anything coming out in the future? You're doing anything?
Theater-wise, I don't know. There's a piece that I was working on I did a reading of it, directed a reading of it with a good friend of mine, Perry Gaffney. And it was based on Lena Horne, it's writing, and Claude Sullivan. So maybe we'll do some workshop on something like that.
Okay,
in the future.
So being in the business for a long time in the jazz and arts in New York City, what does it look like? Because I see a lot of artists, they're starving and don't know where to play, and then they play for a little while, 6 weeks, 4 weeks there, and then they go away. What do you foresee in the future, and what we need to do to up that game so these children really see the basic education of jazz, where it comes from and where their music derived from on the education part? Because I'm part of education. I'm really serious about my education.
Well, the music of jazz is being educated and it's not like back in the 50s and the early 60s. The music of jazz is being, the education component is in many schools and universities throughout the country and throughout the world also. So that is happening. I just think of some of the young musicians who played at Banana Puddin Jazz over this past year, and they were so superb that one month I had an event and they were so superb I brought them back for another month. A young lady by the name of Leonika Shubu, and she's like 14 years old and plays the piano so superbly, jazz piano.
Oh wow! Yeah.
And some of them, you have to be born with that in you, and you can't learn it. You can learn it as you go along, but it has to be innate within your being, your soul. And this young lady is old soul, and she brings it when she plays this wonderful music. So, and then there's these other young artists. I did a thing called The Young and the Jazzy. And these young kids, they came and they just blew everybody's
Really?
mind, you
That's
know,
great.
playing our traditional music, you know, and they did it so well, you know. Some of them go to school went to Manhattan music school.
At her skirt, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of my main thing pretty much is
I was
in
gonna
my
mention-
education.
I'm sorry, I was going
Go
to
ahead.
mention one young artist I love dearly, is Rodney James. He plays tenor sax. And
Okay.
he's won awards, and he's just superb with it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of young people, and I went to an event in La Maison des Arts in Harlem, and I saw this young man. He must have been about 16. He played the drums. God, he's so awesome. You've probably seen him, but his father
16.
played. He's about 15, 16 years
Wow.
old, and he was playing for Hicks. It was a annual.
Solomon Hicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Solomon
his
Hicks.
wife was giving something annual.
Yeah, Solomon Hicks played for me at Banana Puddin Jazz back when he was 15, 16, 17, yeah.
So, you know, these young kids, they're really good, and I'm trying to bring back arts into the school, especially the public schools, and it's just not like when we grew up. I mean, we had dozens of instruments to take home, you know, and take them back and
Oh,
say,
yes.
you want to do it, you don't want to do
yeah.
it. When you have your Banana Puddin Jazz, are those people, how do you get your audience, how you get people to come in to see, and do you go to schools and pick these artists? Do they just hear it word of mouth? Are you
I think
advertising?
it's
Or
word of mouth. I have a Facebook page. You know, I do radio programs. I'm constantly there talking about my show on WHCR radio with Dianna El Sanusi. That's 90.3 on the FM dial, and
Okay.
www.whcr.org. You know, we've had continuous conversations about the music on her show, and every time I do Banana Puddin Jazz, either I talk about it or someone who's in my show goes on to her show and talk about it. Well, I'm down at Rome Neal's Banana Puddin Jazz at the New Eureka Poets Cafe. Come down and check me out. So, you know, it's a word of mouth, but it's also, you know, the musicians who are part of the shows, they talk about what they're doing and pass it around.
okay.
I hope so. You know, some of them, you know, they don't, you know, and I get kind of upset because, you know, I'm doing this for the love of the music, and everybody should be supportive of it, not just depend on a producer to produce a show and then the audience is just to appear there that night. It just doesn't work that way. It's a collaborative thing, and everyone has to be a part of it.
So I'm coming. I swear I will. I went to this place. It was in Harlem on Riverside Drive for years, and this gentleman had on Sundays he would have this come in, sit in. Young people, everybody would come in. Whatever they can do, with the poets or jazz, they would play. And he had a format like that, and that's probably pretty much what you're doing. Pretty much the
Well, I
same
always
thing.
feature. I have a featured artist or a featured band, and they play for a good set or more, and then I bring on an open mic with singers and poets and musicians to do their thing. Sometimes it's a type of an evening that I just give a theme to the evening, like again, like this, the LGBT greats evening. You know, there's the young and the jazzy. There's the Mobtastic ladies. There's the one of the last ones with the gentle gentlemen in jazz. You know, so we all, I get these themes, and it puts more work on me because I have to, you know, really be selective about who I put into these categories to fulfill the evening for what the promise is to be.
Okay. And so how long, what are the hours for the show?
Well, we start doors open at the New Year weekend at 9:30, and we go to 1 o'clock, sometimes 2 o'clock.
Oh, okay. So whatever the feeling is,
Yeah,
right?
it's
That's good.
that's the way the music is. It
Yeah.
takes you in that direction, you know.
Mhm.
And if people are having a good time, I just celebrated my 13th anniversary,
Mhm.
and we started at 10 o'clock,
Mhm.
and we went straight through to 2 o'clock, no breaks, straight
Mhm.
through just music and
Mhm.
words and songs, and people had a fantastic time.
Okay. That's.
Fantastic. And that particular night,
Mhm.
I was fortunate enough to have, as one of my co-chairs, he didn't show, but it was Danny Glover. I was glad that he was a co-chair, honorary co-chair for that night.
Oh,
And
gosh,
Ethan
Danny
Hawke
Glover. Wow.
was the
Oh, my
honorary
God.
co-chair who happened to show up, and he
Mhm.
performed, he sang,
Mhm.
and he did a jazz poem, and his daughter sang with him and did it was a wonderful night. And we had Suzanne Douglas from Stella Got a Groove Back,
Right,
and,
right.
and the movie Tap with Gregory Hines.
Mhm.
And we had Von D. Curtis Hall. He stepped in and he did a jazz number. It was a superb night, and
Oh, God.
so that's what happens at Banana Puddin Jazz. We have each night we have a fantastic time. That's why I've been doing it for 13 years.
So tell me about Max Roach, this experience with Max Roach.
Oh, you say Max Roach because your cameraman, when I mentioned Max Roach earlier, he just did one of these, woo! Max Roach, actually, I talked about, when he came to see the play, but Lawrence Holder is such a great playwright, and he's written plays
he's
about
awesome.
so many historical figures, especially jazz artists. And Max, he wrote a piece called Max, the Gospel According to Max Roach. And we were fortunate to do a stage reading of it with this marvetastic drummer, Jerome Jennings, and actor. And he played the part of Max, and we had a whole crew come in, other musicians come in and play. It was a part of a Neal Banana Puddin night, and it was superb. So that Max, I just love the idea that you love Max, which you spoke about, which is wonderful. But that's what happens at Banana Puddin Jazz. Things like nights like that. It's just not straight ahead jazz. I mix it with theater, jazz, and just different topics and things and people.
Okay. For those who don't know what readings are, and I just found out in the past year because I've done a couple myself. Readings are basically when someone writing a play and before it becomes into production, pretty much you start just reading the scripts and see how it works, and if you have to cut it or what have you. That's what these readings.
You see how it works. You give the playwright the opportunity to hear his words with hopefully fine actors performing in them or saying those words, and also gives the opportunity for possible productions of that work when people come to see these readings also.
Yeah, I'm so glad I got into that. I mean, really, I think I don't know, maybe my next career probably. I went to Castillo. I've done a couple of them, and I got a standing ovation when I got up. I didn't know I had it.
I mean, that's
fun.
That's how I started with Monk. Monk started with a reading for me. I did it was before, I think it was before, no, it was with Lawrence Holder. Another, Philip Hayes Dean, a fantastic writer, was directing this reading project around a play about Thelonious Monk and Bud Powell, written by Lawrence Holder. And that's what started it for me. And then there was another playwright who was doing a reading of a play. I used to do quite a few readings back in the day. You know. But readings you can go into productions. And give you a story. So we got Monk, the reading, I forgot the other guy's name who wrote this piece about Monk. So I did a few readings of it, and then one day he said, "Ron, we're going to do the production of the play." And I said, "Oh, great! It's going to be done at La Mama's." I said, "Oh, great! I can do it. It's just that my wife just had this baby, and she's going back to work, and I'm going to have to take care of him. So I'm going to have to bring the baby to the rehearsals." And he said, "I'm sorry, we can't work like that, because it's going to be intense." I said, "Well, listen, then I'm not going to be able to do the production."
Tell me about your daughter. And she's an Olympic swimmer, so tell me how that happened.
My daughter, Leah Maria Neal, it happened when she was going to school in Chinatown. The parents would take their children to swim classes, and they talked to my wife about taking Leah, and it happened. She took them to classes, and I took her to classes with the rest of the kids from the school, and she started to show potential then as to being a faster swimmer, and eventually at 8 to 10 years old, she was in competitions and she was excelling, breaking records at that age. And then she was picked up at Asphalt Green on 91st in York, and it's history from there. She just went on to become 2012 the second African American female Olympian swimmer in the country. So,
Yes, so impressive.
yeah.
Women rock.
Yes, they
Women
do.
rock.
I
tell you.
And the amazement of it, to go back again in 2016 and to receive the opportunity to do this once more, because she qualified for the 2016 Olympics in Rio, along with another superb athlete, swimmer, Simone Manuel. And it's all over the press now. These two African American ladies, young ladies, are making history again, because this year they'll be swimming in the 4x100 free relay. These two young African American women on the team representing the United States of America, and I must say Simone Manuel is racing two other races, the 50 and the 100 free.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. I know you're so proud. Did she get a scholarship? Was she
Well,
on a
she has
scholarship or
a
what?
scholarship she's been at Stanford University for the past 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stanford. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
she's swimming for the team at Stanford.
Okay.
Her and Simone.
Okay. That's wonderful. Wow, Stanford is a very good school. You got to be really proud. You must have been doing something right. I mean, because I tell you, I'm so impressed when
Well, God
parents.
is good, baby. God is good. God is great.
Yeah.
All the time.
So you will be probably going. No, I know you would be in Brazil.
Yeah, Rio.
Yeah.
Rio or bust. We're gonna have a good time. We're at the Olympic trials in Omaha, Nebraska. We had a good time there. I was able to take my wife and myself and my youngest son, along with my grandson, and we just had a great time cheering Leah on. And I must say, this young man that I had with me, my grandson, his name is Rome Jin. 5 years old, he hung out with us for the whole 8 days, and he just had the time of his life. And he swims too, so he's jumping in. We have the pool, so he's jumping in the pool. He's doing the backstroke,
Already?
and then he says to me, he said, "Granddad, I'm ready to do the Olympic trials." And I said, "Whoa." And so, so that's amazing to see.
Yeah, you have to encourage him. You have to really get him ready for that.
Just the encouragement was, just having him there and just seeing all this swimming competition in front of him,
I was watching, give a shout out to my friend Wendy show, and she was talking about, she asked her audience how many people knew how to swim, and didn't realize about over 50% of Americans, period, do not know how to swim. And she was swimming since she was a baby. She said she could swim from New York to New Jersey, her husband and her son, and didn't realize that a lot of us don't know how to swim. I mean, I grew up learning how to swim, but I'm kind of scared of water. But most Americans don't even know how to swim.
It's so true. I grew up and didn't know how to swim either. Some cat threw me in the 16 feet, and I was I worked my way to this, to the landing, but it was like a very scary experience. But I'm so fortunate. I have three grandchildren with me here in New York, and they're all swimming at age 5, 6, and 7.
Already?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So what are you going to do? So you can swim very well yourself then,
Oh, I
of
don't
course
know
now.
that so very well, but I can get from one side of the pool to the other a couple of times. Yeah.
Okay. So what's next on your agenda?
Well, next is, again, we're taking off to the Olympic trials. I do have a couple of performances that's going to happen. I'll be at the Ronald McNair Park in Brooklyn, next to the Brooklyn Museum, and I'll be in concert singing some wonderful jazz tunes. That's going to be on July 12th. Yeah,
Okay.
July 12th, yeah. It's a Thursday night.
Oh, that's coming up next week then.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, it's
And
pretty
I'll be
soon.
doing some other things. I'll be singing at For My Sweets in Brooklyn on August 22nd, a Monday night, a wonderful jazz spot, which was formulated by the late great G2 Wayusi. And now it's run by his wife, Angela Wayusi. And a friend of mine, George Johnson, does Monday nights. It's a fantastic place. I just love jazz and promoting jazz all over the city. You know, I can throw out a name, Paris Blues. You know, I can throw out a name, New Eureka Poets Cafe, Rome Neal's Banana Puddin Jazz. You know, and not only do we have jazz there, we have Latin jazz at the New Eureka Poets Cafe with Jimbo Cornelia, some Grammy Award-winning musicians playing there on Tuesday nights. You know, I just love, again, promoting this music. You know, that we all love so much. I call it the music. And so many of my friends call it the music of the spirit.
Right, and the soul and the heart. I mean, that's my survival, just listening to jazz and blues, just going out in New York on the street, you hear it. In the subway, you hear it. Just great artists. It's wonderful. You know, and I just, you know, I'm in awe. I didn't know you were really into this jazz like you are. I just knew you pretty much with the productions or the theater,
Yeah.
but not all as much as the jazz, and that's really great, you know.
Well, you know, people want to know. I'm a promoter of sorts too. You know, people want to know more about me. Please go to www.romeneal.com. Okay, again, that's romeneal.com, and I'm sure you'll have the print over there.
Yeah, so you're really great. So I know that you had the play with the Jack Johnson story, and I saw you at a few of the other plays I ran into you with Mr. Holder, and with Mr. Holder at Bessemer Restaurant.
Bessemer, yeah, the play that he wrote about Sugar Ray Robinson.
Sugar Ray Robinson, yeah.
With Reginald Wilson, directed by the great Woody King.
Woody King, right.
Yeah,
he was on my show also, Woody King. Okay, Rome, tell me about the Delco Award.
Well, you know, the production of Monk actually won an Adolco Award for me for solo performance. But over the years, I've personally won 6 Adolco Awards. One was for Monk, and then another one's for a play that I did in the early 90s. It was called Signs by Gabrielle N. Lane, in which I won an Adolco Award for lead actor in that particular play. And then my production of Shango de Ima won 2 awards for me, one for directing, one for lighting designer. And then there was the play Don't Explain about Lee Morgan that actually won a Delco Award for me as a director, and a Delco Award for a new actor in town, which was Ron Cephas Jones. And Ron, from that play on, went on to receive numerous awards in theater and played off Broadway. He's on TV, and his daughter. The funny thing about his daughter, I just saw it on Facebook today. 3 years ago, his daughter came to sing at Banana Puddin Jazz.
Oh, really?
Her name is Jasmine Cephas Jones, but prior to that, at about 3 years old, her mother brought her to the New Eurekan to see her father, this novice actor, perform the part of Lee Morgan in the play entitled by Sam Harps entitled Don't Explain. So this is a generation going on, and now Jasmine Cephas Jones is in one of the hottest Broadway musicals, Hamilton.
Oh, that's her. That's right.
That's her.
That's
That's right,
her.
yes.
That's right. I knew I recognized her from, and that was you. Give it to me.
You see? Banana Puddin Jazz, the Rome Neal's Banana Puddin Jazz.
Oh my
Folks, you need to
goodness.
come on out and check it out because it's a happening. We've been doing it for 13 years at the world famous New York Poets Cafe. I'm so very proud of that. These productions that I've been able to put together around jazz. Yeah.
That's great. Well, I'm going to ask you a favor.
Yes.
Could you sing a song for us?
Okay, you don't have to twist my arm for that one. No complaints and no regrets. I still believe in chasing dreams and placing bets. For I have learned in life all you give is all you get. So you give it all you got. I've had my share, drank my fill, and even though I'm satisfied, I'm hungry still to see what's down the road, beyond the hill, and do it all again. So here's to life and every joy it brings. Here's to life, the dreamers and their dreams. Funny how the time just flies, how love can go from warm hellos to sad goodbyes, and leave you with the memories you memorized to keep your winters warm. Well, there's no yes in yesterday, and who knows what tomorrow brings or takes away. As long as I'm in the game, I want to play for life, for laughs, for love. So here's to life and every joy it brings. Here's to life, the dreamers and their dreams. May all your storms be weathered, and all that's good gets better. Here's to life, here's to love, here's to you.
Oh, thank you, Rome. My soul, God, I can melt right here. Thank you for that song, Rome. I love it. You have me sitting here melting, and I'm coming to see you and then sing to me anytime at your world famous Rome Neal Banana Pudding Jazz. And it's located where?
It's located at the New Eurekan Poets Cafe on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. That's the first Saturday of every month. You can go to the website at www.newyourekan.org. Or some people just go to my website, it's simple, romeneal.com.
Thank you. Thank you to my audience, and I will see you the next time. Talk with Dianna.